Hi everyone, this is Pip and welcome back to my channel. This month's theme over at AAA Birthday is dots and or stripes, and this is the process video around my design team card. So I decided to do both the dots and the stripes, and I've just really brought those in with patterned paper and also the party hats on the dogs. So I'm using the Stamping Bella rubber stamp, and I've had it for a little while, so I thought great opportunity to use it, and I've already coloured it with Copic Markers and cut it out with my scan and cut. So I've used various brands of paper, Sunny Studios, my favourite things, Bazzill's Basics paper, die cuts with a view glitter paper, some vellum, and just the pink glitter paper, which don't think I've got a brand name for that. And so what I've done is just taken the 5 colours that I've used for the party hats and found the pattern paper that matches the colour, and just made that little cluster at the top right hand corner. I've just brought in some grey just to tie in the grey that's throughout the design, and that's going to be the base of the card. So I'm going to use a couple of sentiments on this card, and I've pulled out my Sweet Sentiment Builder set by Uniquely Creative. I'm going to do Happy Birthday first, and that's going to be on white embossed on black cardstock, and I just needed to chop up the sentiment a little bit. It had a Happy Birthday and I took off the A, and you can always use those again by just piecing them back together. You'll see of the happy and the birthday are 2 separate pieces here, and I'm just putting them back together on the card. So don't be scared to split up your sentiments if you find you want to have them in a different layout, or only using parts of it. So I've got my mini Misty here, and just lining up those 2 words. I'm going to get some talcum powder in my application bottle and just spread some of that over the cardstock, and that just stops any stray embossing powder sticking to the cardstock, so it's only going to stick where I stamp it. So I'm using Versamark ink, which is a clear ink. It can be used for various things, but mainly used for embossing. So you'll see that you can see where it's stamped it, but it's actually clear. It's just stamping through that powder. And I've used the Hero Arts embossing powder in white, and my matte there, white matte underneath, is just it's just a placemat, and I've covered it in parchment paper, and it's just so that I can then tip that embossing powder back into the bottle. And then my heat tool I usually turn on while I'm starting to do the stamping, just so it's heated up, and also used a brush just to sweep off any stray bits of powder. I also like to heat the front and the back of the cardstock, just stops it warping if you've got a cardstock that does prone to warping. So now I'm just going to trim that down. It's a little bit thick to start with, so I just cut a few little extra smidgen off each side, just to make it a bit thinner. I'm going to make this into a flag banner, so just using my small scissors to do that. I'm going to start attaching everything now, and I'm using my stapler and some coloured staples, and I end up deciding to use pink and blue staples, and I always just staple it first on a scrap piece of card just to make sure it's working all right. Nothing worse than going to staple something and it's the staples are a little bit bent. So I'm just using the pink staples up the top there, and I'm putting 3 on there just to attach it to the vellum. I'm changing now to the blue staples, and I decided just to attach that white directly to the grey background first. So I'm just arranging everything back on there just to work out where that needs to be stapled. I'm stapling it just through that frame, so I didn't need to apply any adhesive to that because the staples will hold it in place. The striped paper is going on next, and then I'm going to be using a variety of different thickness adhesives. So I've got some tape adhesive, some mini glue dots, and I've got some slightly bigger glue dots as well. Not sure exactly what size they are, but they're still quite thin. So if you do want to use glue dots or anything like that, but you want them to be a bit thicker, all you need to do is just double up on them. So yeah, I decided to put the foam tape behind the vellum as well because it was wanted that slightly to be sticking up as well. That's the whole thing with cards, is actually, I think, just to add a little bit of extra dimension into your card, just gives it a lot more interest if you've got different heights of dimension. That's my bigger glue circles. Finishing with that little tag. Now there's a little portion of that card that I felt I wanted to add something else into, and it's just on the inside of that frame on the top left hand side. So actually there's small sentiments that are in the stamp set were the perfect size, and so I've taken out the Let's Celebrate sentiment, and I'm just going to stamp that into that little rectangle there. I'm using Stays On Stormy Grey ink, and once again I just try it out onto scrap cardstock just to make sure it's stamping alright, and that finishes off the card. So yeah, it's actually, in the end, it came together pretty quickly once I'd gotten all my pen paper chosen. So hope you enjoyed that, and come along over on the AAA Birthday website and enter a card for this month's challenge. And I'll see you again next time. Thanks.